Hello everyone, it's Joel Davis with United Medical Transportation Providers Group, and you are thebroker.com, helping you to build a highly effective and highly profitable broker business. I'll try to make this video as short as I can. I have to leave here shortly, so let me get to the point. The main topic I want to talk about first and foremost is contract/service agreements. I work on, for those of you who I'm doing one-on-one with, you know I do a lot of contract stuff. So I've been reviewing a handful of contracts and service agreements over the last few days. And a couple of things I want to mention. Some I've touched on before in previous videos, but it's always worth underscoring. Here's what you have to understand. First and foremost, he who speaks first loses. We've all heard that saying, and it's true. It's true. He who speaks first loses. But let's be realistic. There's plenty of times where, guess what? You got to speak first. Case in point, when you take your executive welcome packet and you're soliciting a new facility, whether it be a hospital, rehab facility, skilled care, whatever the facility might be, your executive welcome packet, if we're featuring your retail prices, we're speaking first. It is what it is. So there's nothing wrong with when you have to speak first. But we know that he who speaks first loses. So we know that when we do speak first, it's got to be strong. It's kind of like what's the saying? You only have one opportunity to make a good first impression. The same thing holds true with your contracts and service agreements. So when people do ask you, send us over your contract, send us over your service agreement, it better be strong. It better be good. That doesn't mean that, like some of you with your contracts that you put together on your own and you're just swinging for the fences. Hey, I get it, man. You want to make as much as you can, get as much as you can. That's great. And we want to position ourselves the best that we can. But to the best of our ability, we want to establish a long-term relationship with this facility, with the staff members, things like that. We want win-win solutions, bottom line. Here's the biggest thing. One of the biggest, we're going to get this 5 times today. Every single day we get it without fail, multiple times a day. Do you have any sample agreements? Do you have any templates you could send us over? Now, listen, I specifically, we will not send you any samples or templates. Here's how this works. If you go and you're working with the facility, unless it's some small rinky-dink independent operated facility who doesn't have a formal legal department, which is absolutely insane, then you could probably send them over a piece of crap and they'll look it over and use common sense and sign it or decline it, whatever. But 99% of the time, when you submit your contract or service agreement to a facility, it's going to go through the legal department. So multiple people will see it, and then they're going to send it to the legal department for final approval. So many different people, many different layers are going to see it. Now let me be absolutely clear. Here's what many of you do. And this is really the motivation of why I'm putting this video together, because I asked this one client provider where you got this from, and they got it from Business in a Box. Literally, that's what it's called. I've never heard it before, but the website and all that stuff. Business in a Box. Business in a Box. Dude, what do you need me for when you got business in a box? Oh, man. Some of you people out there, you come up with some of the craziest stuff, especially like you White Walkers, man. You get all this free advice from your online groups and stuff like that, and you take it from people who are making next to no money. They're going to be out of business next year, all this stuff. Some of you people, you follow the craziest stuff. But Business in a Box. Again, you do not want a one-size-fits-all. Case in point, if you, for example, your executive welcome packet, you may have different welcome packets for different types of facilities, and you should. You should. There's nothing wrong with having different pricing. And then when you start the negotiation process and you develop a contract or a service agreement, you further tailor and customize those rates and the terms. The terms are key. The terms are key for many reasons. Now, I know I'm all over the place, but so stick with me. But here's what happens. You got different people who are going to look at this. And when you are, so many of you, if you're not getting your contracts from Business in a Box, that is so flipping crazy, man. That just kills me. How are you going to try to build a business from quote unquote Business in a Box? That is just flipping insane. As I digress. But so what many of you will do, you'll go online, you'll Google some type of a contract or template, and then you cut and paste different parts of it and put it together, and you literally submit that. Now again, how many different people are going to see this? When you do that, your contracts, your service agreement, that is your first impression. And it screams naivete. It screams novice. Think about it. Many of you, now look, I'm not an attorney. I was a pre-law major at West Point. I'm good at what I do. I've done 1,000,001 contracts, prepared them, edited them, all that kind of good stuff. I'm good. It is what it is. My attorneys told me I should have been an attorney. But anyways, for those of you who don't have experience in drafting agreements or contracts or things like that, when you go Google, go online, you cut and paste this and that, you can clearly see what you did. Anyone who with half a lick of sense can see what you did. Because in your contracts or service agreements, you will actually have multiple forms of language in one agreement. Literally. So the average person isn't going to see or understand. Now, here's the point to that. When people see this, they know you're full of crap. They know you're a rookie. It clearly signals we can negotiate hard against them because they're desperate, because they're a dingbat, because they're a novice, because they're clueless, because they don't know what they're doing. It is what it is. I mean, you get what you pay for. It is what it is. So I'm just telling you, because I know many of you, your trick is to go Google agreements, and then you'll take an agreement for a company that manufactures widgets, and you're going to take that agreement because it's free online, and then you're going to try to customize it, and you're going to apply it to medical transportation. Again, it just signals to that facility that you want to build a lasting relationship with. It just screams dingbatism. Because again, there's so much nonsensical legal jargon in some of these contracts you put together, that you quote unquote put together, whether you get them from Business in a Box, it still just kills me. Business in a Box. It's like, what makes people think you're gonna you could be successful? Here's your Business in a Box. That's like your get rich quick scheme online. Invest in this package and then go to your mailbox and collect your checks. It's just flipping insane. Business in a Box, man. I don't know how I haven't heard of that previously. That's just crazy. Anyways, getting back on point. He who speaks first loses, but there are times when you gotta speak first. So when you speak first, you gotta look legit. You gotta be legit. You gotta have your ducks in a row. So in your service agreements and your contracts, when you're cutting and pasting, it's literally like you're speaking multiple languages in the same document. And anybody with a trained eye clearly sees it. Now, when they see that you're full of crap, trust me, they're going to negotiate with you like you're full of crap. So when some of you are concerned why you're getting crapped on, it's because people are going to treat you like crap because this is your first impression. You spoke first because you had to. Again, sometimes you got to. There's nothing wrong with that. So when you do, you got to be top shelf. But you spoke first. You look like crap. You're signaling low value. Let me crap on you. That's just the way. I'm just telling you how it works. I'm telling you how it works. And part of the reason why I know how this is how it works is because let me kind of sidestep a little bit and go to the brokers. Now, many of you know that I've worked with people who used to work with Logistic Care and some of these other brokers, and now that they're no longer with these companies, they'll tell you exactly how they train their people, literally what they say, some of their methodologies, some of their strategies. So they literally know whether it's a broker or a facility. If you're bringing them crap, it signals you're low rent. We got dingbatism here. So we could just, we'll use them, abuse them, chew them up, spit them out. This isn't a legitimate business owner that we're going to be able to negotiate with, build long-term strategic partnership with. This is just someone who's, well, business in a box. Or you're just Googling, you're cutting and pasting, you're trying to modify it. Because you'll literally look at these agreements, and some of them will literally have like all this legal linguistic language just sitting over here. Then it's just low rent verbiage, almost like a Bonix or something like that. I mean, I could go on and on. Some of the stuff that I see is absolutely flipping crazy. One of them I was editing this weekend. I'm not even going to. It was just so bad. It wasn't the worst I've seen, but it was bad. It was bad. So I had to tell my client provider. I told her. I said, "Look, man, this is. I have seen worse, but this is just not good." This was actually a contract that someone offered to her, proposed to her, and I had to help her counter negotiate. So I had to help her modify an agreement to counteroffer. Anyways, and as a side note, the difference for me, this is Joel Davis. For me, the difference between a contract and a service agreement, I know I use those terms kind of interchangeably. It's more or less, I'd argue, it's kind of like a play on words. Here's how I personally, this is Joel Davis, how I personally define the two. A contract is, if I have a contract with the hospital and I'm making 50 grand a month off that hospital, you're going to have that 25, 35 page contract. That's legit. That's a legitimate contract. As in, if you default, you don't pay me my money, I'm suing you. I'll sue you for $50,000. Okay. It's probably going to come close to $50,000 to sue you, because by the time you go through all the legal fees and court costs, and if you go to trial, I mean, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But I'll do that. Okay, so that's a legitimate contract. We have to, dot all the I's, cross all the T's. That's got to be legit. Service agreement, to me, again, this is Joel Davis. This is Joel Davis terminology. The difference between a contract and a service agreement. A service agreement is more or less just a hearty handshake that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, and it really defines the terms and roles and responsibilities for everybody. Again, a contract does the same thing, but a service agreement isn't going to be 25, 35 pages long. Realistically, I'm not going to sue you for this. Okay, if I'm doing $50,000 with the hospital or medical campus complex, and they sell me out, they default, I'm suing them. If I got some independent, nursing facility that I do $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month with, they get in arrears. Am I gonna sue them for it? No. At that point in time, I'm not willing to spend $50,000 to try to collect $3,000 or $4,000. That's not gonna happen. I could take them to small claims court. That's cool. That's always an option. That's why you don't want to get into situations where you have a lot of money in arrears with a facility. Here where I am in New York, the People's Republic of New York, I think it's still $3,500. You could take someone to small claims court for up to $3,500. They may have bumped it up a little bit more where I am locally. I'm not sure, but so if I had a facility bang me for $2,500, well, I'll take a small claims court. I don't need legal representation for that. I used to take people to small claims court all the time. I won every single time. I've never lost. Whether it was clients that didn't pay their bills. I never had to take a facility to court, but I did take a lot of customers. If you'll recall, back in some of my material, I talk about how the first few years of my business, when I was out there hustling, boom, 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 I was on the grind. I so far overextended myself for collecting my money. I mean, I just was making money, and I was chasing it, and I was working around the clock, all that kind of stuff. I lost about 80 grand. I had like $80,000 in arrears before I finally got a girl in there who started to knock it out, hammer it out, started to work on collecting it. Collected a lot of it, not all of it. Still lost a lot of money, but lessons learned. It is what it is. So manage your accounts receivables for sure. But a service agreement, am I willing to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in legal fees to even put us in a position to get to court and then go to no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to spend 50 grand to chase $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. It's not going to happen. So that's the difference. Really, for me, that's the difference of how I look at a contract versus a service agreement. But seriously, man, business in a box. Business in a box, man. You White Walkers, man. You White Walkers. People have asked, why do I refer to people who are White Walkers? It's the freebie experts out there. White Walkers is from Game of Thrones. Some of you who don't watch Game of Thrones, good series, but the White Walkers, they were like zombies. It's like you kill one, if they kill you, you multiply. They just multiply like rabbits. They're freaking crazy. So the White Walkers are just vicious beasts, man, and they are, when it comes to any business, they're vicious beasts, man. All they want is the freebie, and they'll take the freebies or the low hanging fruit. They'll pay $10 for their business in a box or whatever it costs. I have no idea. I'm not familiar enough with it. But the White Walkers and the freebie experts, they do their group online groups and oh God, I mean you get what you pay for. Bottom line. A couple of so hopefully you guys took a little value out of that service agreement. He who speaks first loses. There's a time when you got to speak first, and you better be at your best. You better look good. So if you put something in writing, you put it in front of someone, it better not be some low level, low rent, business in a box, cookie cutter method, one size fits all. That's why, please, I would pay money for all of you to stop emailing us and asking us, do you have any sample templates of contracts? No, we don't. If you do one size fits all, you're flipping insane. You're not a good business person. That's the stupidest thing you could do. You could have a general structure of how you do things, but you got to make sure that you tweak it and modify it, because terms should be different for different facilities. And I'm not talking about just pricing. There's many other considerations. Anyways, I sent out a email last week about the possibilities about having a live event later this year. My plan was to, because everyone always asks, when's my next event? When's my next event? My plan was to wait until all the scamdemic passed. But sure enough, and thanks to all of you who sent your emails, we really appreciate it. Sure enough, we had someone who, and I'm paraphrasing, they literally emailed and said, I'd be interested in coming as long as it's compliant with CDC. Now listen, you could take your CDC and shove it up your ASS. I'm just going to be honest. So I don't know who sent that. I don't care. It means nothing to me. If that's why I waited as long as I did, and I was pushing it to even further later in this year to hopefully, because especially now that all these emails are coming out of you trust the science. You gotta trust the science. Yeah, the same science where the little gnome Fauci was saying one day he's saying, no, you don't need the face diapers, and then 2 weeks later, all of a sudden he gets his marching orders from China. And it says you better push the face diapers, and then sure enough, everyone's wearing face diapers. So, so anyone who literally said to us, emailed us and said, I'm interested in coming to one of Joel's events as long as it's compliant with CDC, you're probably the type of person that wears a face diaper in your car when you're driving by yourself. Did you hear that noise? That was someone who just unsubscribed. Hey, not all relationships are made to last forever. So it is what it is. So anyways, in regards to an event later this year, because someone is literally, if one person asked that, there's other people who are thinking that. So you know what? At this point in time, I'm kind of against doing an event later this year. If I do, I'm going to try to make a decision, by the end of this month, for the next couple of weeks, whatever. I'll make a decision. If I do, you know what? I'm going to do it by invite only. I'm going to do it by invite only, because if someone, after all these emails that are coming out, with more coming, and the way things are heating up with all these revelations coming out, it's like how someone could literally say with all seriousness, I'm interested. I want to come, but it's got to be compliant with CDC. CDC is being sued and debunked, and your trust the science is such a laughable freaking joke. It's. I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second. I remember it was last March or April of 2020 when I first said that we are going to look back one day. One day we're going to look back at this time in history and realize we got played. And now you look at all these emails that are blowing up, coming out, but what a fake and a farce and a fraud your Fauci, your little gnome Dr. Fauci, and and your CDC and all that kind of stuff. What a farce all that is. So for someone to still be that gullible to buy into this, I mean, you're probably someone who's still watching the fake news, mainstream media, your Fox News and your Communist News Network and all that stuff. So crazy. But anyways, inspired by that email, I think what I'm going to do is, first and foremost, if I do a live event, I'm going to do it by invite only, because I'm not going to waste my time with that nonsense. I don't have. You have to. Here's what you have to understand. Those live events are less about me and more about you, in terms of, it's not like they're great money makers for me. Okay, anybody, for those of you who are new to this channel, my mainstay, my biggest endeavor is my broker business. I have a broker business that I operate right now in 5 states down in the Southeast, and honestly, we can't even keep up right now. You people who have buyer's remorse over what you voted for, with your inflation right now, with your high gas prices, and it's only going to continue to get worse. Man, because we've just raised our rates. We raised our rates, and we're doing well. It is what it is. So, what's awesome about it is we actually have some brokers in California who literally charge twice as much as us. I mean, it's all relative, because cost of living, cost of everything out in the Communist People's Republic of California is expensive. It's ridiculous. It's laughable. Absolutely laughable. Man, that state. Beautiful state physically, but so is New York. Beautiful state, man, but communist as the day is long. Poor Cali. Poor New York, man. It's crazy. But anyways, getting back on point. See, I go off on tangents all the time. Getting back on point. If I do a live event, I'm going to do it by invite only, because I don't have time for dingbatism. I don't have time for dingbatism. I'm willing to come as long as it's compliant with CDC. Dingbat. Don't have time for it. Go put your face diaper on. Go take a bath with a face diaper. We don't want you to infect yourself. And if I do it, I'm thinking it's going to be in the awesome state of Florida. How awesome is Florida? I'm going to, the reason why I do those live events, honestly, is because it's a great opportunity to connect with different people. I have multiple partners and joint ventures with people who I've met over many years at different live events. So that's the true benefit for me, is being able to meet so many people, because you'll meet 20 people, and out of those 20 people, there's going to be one person that you're probably going to do some work with long term, and it's great. So anyways, I got so many things going on right now. Forgive me, but if I do a live event, it will probably be in the great state of Texas, the great state of Florida. I'm moving to Texas next year. I'm getting out of the People's Republic of New York, going to God's free country in the great state of Texas. I was going back and forth between Texas or Florida. I'm going to go to Texas, but because ultimately I want a ranch, and I think the best place for me to do that is going to be in Texas. But that doesn't mean I can't buy property in Florida. Florida is just an outstanding state. Your boy DeSantis is just a hookup. How prosperous is that state, man? Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So if I do a live event, it's going to be by invite only. We'll probably do it down in the great state of Florida, especially because if it's later this year. I want someplace nice. I want someplace that realizes the insanity and the lunacy of your face diapers and your jabs and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're at now. For some of you who are new to this channel, you've probably been offended. You've probably turned off. You've probably unsubscribed. You have to understand, it is what it is. There's no reason for anyone to sparse words. We're getting too old, man. We're getting too old. There's no time. I know. Look, I know that there's many of you out there. I shouldn't say many, but there's some of you out there. You know who you are. You spend more time on your fake book and your LinkedIn trying to build. You spend more time trying to become a social media superstar guru than you do actually building your business. It's unfortunate. Misguided endeavors. You want to become a social media guru, so you're constantly posting your garbage on your LinkedIn and your Facebook pages and stuff like that, versus going and building your business. It's crazy how some of y'all do that. Clearly, I am the absolute god-awful worst social media online marketer possible, known to man, bar none. The reason why is because of the things that I say, the things that I do, because you don't, rule 101 when you're doing YouTube videos is that if you want to build the presence, you got to make sure you have visitor engagement, which means you keep your comments on, so that you could continue, so people could post and you could respond, this and that. I'm going to be honest with you, the reason I don't do that, so if you're new to this channel, I don't do that. I told my people to turn them off all the time, because I'm not responding. Flat out, I'm not responding. I'm not going to read your comments. If it's for those of you who really want to contact us, email us. Email us. You got our emails. Email us, because that way I know you're serious. I'm not going to respond to stupidity. I'm not going to respond to the trolling. I'm not going to respond to the people who are posting their own links to their own agenda for advertising and all that. I'm done. So I get it. I am God's worst possible online marketer known to man. I get all that. I got no problem with it. I sleep well at night. I'm good. Again, my mainstay is my broker business. My money makes me more money than I do with anything I could ever do online. So you have to keep things in proper perspective. So that's why, again, if it comes to for a live event later this year, I don't need to have one. It's not a big deal for me. I got so many other projects going on. Plus, like I say, I'm moving to Texas next year, so there's a lot of things I'm getting ready to do to leave this communist state of New York, move to Texas. A lot of different business interests, things going on. So I don't have time for the stupidity of, well, I'm interested. As long as we are compliant with CDC, you could shove the CDC up your ASS, because that's just the way it's going to be, because I don't have time for that garbage, that crap. Absolute dingbatism. Craziness. Anyways, I got to run. So I'll have some more content coming out soon. I have to leave for a couple days, but I will have some more content coming out soon, because there's a lot of different things going on here. A lot of different projects. Look for some videos. I may end up having to make a couple of videos while I'm on the road. So look for those videos, because again, a lot of good things are happening. I know a lot of you are frustrated by the current climate. Be of good cheer. God is on our side. All will be well. All will be well. Continue to work hard to increase the top line, the bottom line, so you can grow your way through this insanity. Good things will be coming. Good things will be coming. So continue to work hard. Sow your seeds. It will reap a harvest. When you do, I'll see you at the top.